It stings is what echoed from the Commanders after their 25-24 loss to the Chicago Bears.
I mean, it stinks. I mean, and like we know it, dude. And we gotta show we turn around and get ready for the couch.
Frustrating is to lose a game like this.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating.
It's gonna be a tough game in Dallas, so we can't dwell on this or let the feelings of defeat now carry over to next week.
Again, the Commanders stumble out of the gates, quickly falling into a 13-0 deficit that set the tone for another frustrating outing. Despite flashes of promise in a back-and-forward battle, the rhythm never truly came together, and urgency arrived far too late. Mother Nature added her twist, but no excuses from JD5. The turnovers became the anchor that dragged the Commanders down. In the end, it was the Bears who capitalized, seizing control in the closing minutes and walking away with the win. Now, the Commanders face another week of soul-searching as they prepare for a pivotal divisional showdown. The roller coaster ride? Yes, it continues. And next up, it's the Cowboys. Plenty to unpack this week on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus.
The man
is back, y'all.
We're back.
Call
He's
your
back.
mama, call your daddy.
We're back and we're back.
We're back.
Tony McGee,
back, y'all.
We're back.
Tony
McGee.
Come on. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50-some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Crystal City Sports Pub, located in the heart of National Landing, is ranked one of the top 20 sports bars in the country. We are open 365 days a year. Crystal City Sports Pub, with its laid-back atmosphere, is the place to be. We offer 3 levels, over 100 TVs, an 18-foot video wall, pool tables, 3 full bars featuring 11 beers on tap, an extensive menu, and super friendly staff. We offer on- and off-site catering and ample space to host private parties and gatherings. Come experience Crystal City Sports Pub. It is the place to be.
Welcome to Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. Now, if you're feeling like I am, you done stayed up Monday night and you're looking for a good game. You see your team play not that great, but well enough to win. And then they blow it on the last few plays. I don't feel good right now. So rather than to start talking about them right away, because we're going to put something on them. They're going to tell us to get them out of our mouth, but we're going to put something on them. But first of all, we're going to have our first fan of the week to get asked any of us any questions they want. Now, all they got to do is look at Gary Clark. They're going to ask him, did he just come back from Europe? But right now, Solomon, who do we have?
Yeah, thank you, Dad. Before we tear them a new one today, our fan of the week is Miss Francesca Carter. She's a dean here at the Children's Guilds Public Charter School, and she's been an avid Redskin fan since the 80s. So, Ms. Carter, welcome today. And who do you have a question for today?
Thank you. Definitely going to have a question for Gary Clark. Mr. Clark, what is your most memorable event that happened in your football career, and how are you still using it today as a life lesson?
Let's see. Probably Super Bowl 22. I started off the game a little rough. Had a couple of drops that game, but hung in there, came back, scored a go-ahead touchdown for us, and then our offense just continued to have a great day, and the defense played extremely well. But the lesson learned is when things are tough, you never give up. You continue to grind until you make things right. And that's what I was able to do for my first Super Bowl and come away with a Super Bowl victory. And again, have a go-ahead touchdown. That meant so much to me. And lesson taught is you always grind no matter what, because you'll come out the other end.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Now, I'm glad we did that. See, me and Gary have been working together for 30 years, and that's a great point that you brought up, G. And I tell you what, that's a great question you had. And we really have questions right now. Why did they do the way they did? But at the same time, Solomon, you want to talk a little bit? Does she want to ask another question? We trying to avoid talking about them, but if she want to ask another one, we'll give her another one real quick.
Do you have a question about yesterday's debacle, Ms. Carter? Is there anything that you have to ask that we can maybe do going forward for the next game against the Cow? You know what?
I just always wonder, why we have to be a second half team. Like why we can't just start off from the beginning. It drives us literally nuts as fans when we have to wait until the second half until you do something and get defense going, with a team that suffered as a defense with the Chicago Bears, the fact that our running game really didn't get off the way that it was supposed to right from the beginning. And so I just let's be first half teams as well, from the beginning to the end. That you stress us out, the heart attacks. But again, we're 3-3. We were 12-5 last year. We're good. We're still in a good place. But you have to hear from the Cowboys.
Don't 3-3 mean we average?
Yeah, hold up. We're in school, so what's that, a C?
We're C.
We're
right.
C right now?
But listen, what we used to be. Come on now. What we used to be.
All right, we're going to go through, but thank you for coming on and answering those questions. And we'd like to have you back later on in the year, see if you see anything different. You asked Gary Clark the question. I tell you what, it's been millions of people want to do that. So look at yourself as being number one and doing that.
And if you guys are doing this, you can always go to Red Mac Plus TV at AOL and shoot it to my father, and then we can actually try to set it up to get you on the show as a Fanatic fan. But thank you for joining us today, Ms. Carter, and let's have a great school day.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's get back to the ugly part of it. As you fans know, we were going in, we could have been number one. Everyone in the NFC East lost except for the Giants. And we go there and we blow it at the end. Donna, what happened? I thought we had it under control.
Yeah, Tony. You know what, Tony? These slow starts, like you said, are killing this Commanders team because they fall down 13-0 and then they have to jump back. They talked about last week of trying to get off this roller coaster. Well, they're still on the roller coaster because from game to game, we don't know which team is going to show up. Turnovers, Tony, that's what happened, killed them. 3 turnovers. And so it hurts this team in any way if you turn over the ball there. It was a locker room trying to figure out how do we move forward and clean up some of these mistakes. But Tony, let's just go straight to the locker room to hear from both sides of the ball about what went wrong in this short week before they get ready for the Dallas Cowboys.
I still got a lot of confidence in myself, and just gotta be better at my job, and that'll get fixed for sure.
Hey, Bill, is it just the little things of correcting the things to get over the hump?
Yeah, for sure. We just gotta. I know for myself, I just gotta be detailed in the small fundamentals and just get better.
Hey, Zach, this was a game that went backwards and forwards. Could you just talk a little bit about this game overall?
Yeah, just a tough one. Didn't make enough plays ultimately. Too many turnovers for offense, and just tough loss. We pride ourselves on finishing games out, and we had the opportunity to do it, and we just didn't get it done.
Could you just talk about this game overall? What did you see?
Yeah, I thought we responded to certain situations in the right way for sure. But, we got to take care of the ball. And that's all of us, not anyone individually, but we just got to take care of the ball as a collective group. And but we got to play complementary football. We got to execute, and it comes down to fundamentals and keeping it simple. And, overall, I thought, there's a lot of positives from this game too. And you got to take those in consideration as well. And there's going to be stuff to clean up, and that's what, we're going to watch film.
Could you talk about just how you saw this game today?
This one stings. It's a very tough loss at home. And I think this is a game where we have to learn these lessons and then apply them. And we have a sort of shorter week now, heading into a divisional opponent. And so I think it's a great opportunity for us to hone in on these lessons, like I mentioned, and get back on the right track.
What are some key things that you can take away from this game that you say, "Ooh, we got to be better here"?
I think all around, especially one thing I'll emphasize is communication, just communicating with one another, and then just really playing complementary football, all three phases together.
How frustrating is it to lose a game like this?
Very frustrating, very frustrating.
How did you see this game overall?
We knew going into the game that it was going to be whoever won the turnover battle. So on defense, we just got to find a way to hunt the ball better, get out the field on third down, and just get the ball back to our offense.
Talk about how this team played today.
We fought out there. I feel like we left a lot of plays out there. We didn't play I feel like a complete game. When the offense, turn the ball over, like us on defense, our mindset is to get it back to them. You know what I mean? So, I got to watch the tape and then kind of go from there and play it off.
Yeah, I just got to make the tackle, regardless of what happened before he caught the ball. I just got to make the play.
Could you just talk about the overall play of this team today?
Obviously, it wasn't good enough by anybody, honestly. Myself in particular, just got to make the plays that come to me.
Plan a complete game, Tony, communications, execution, and all those key things that the Commanders did not do well enough on in that Monday night game.
Well, you know what, down in the thing, and what you just said is a recipe to be on a championship team. And if you're going to be a championship team, you don't take weeks off. If you're going to be a championship team, you don't let another team dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. This is what they have to learn. They have to know that there's no weeks off. Right now, everybody is in the run. So right now, you got to play your best ball. I hate to look at a line and see that they are playing on our side of the ball that much, and it happened. So when we come back, we got to talk about where's our dominating receivers. Now, as all of you know, and we got G-Man here, we're going to hit him. Every Super Bowl that we've been involved with, speaking of the Washington team, we have had receivers that have been a big part of that. Now, if that's what's happening right now, we don't have anyone we can rock with. We'll be back in a minute and talk about it. But take my name out of y'all mouth until you get the line of scrimmage right. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, welcome home. It's Michelle Van Allen from Van Allen Real Estate. I am over 20 years experienced in this real estate game. We all know that right now in this market takes an experienced agent to get you what you need. All of you sellers, if you're considering putting your house on the market, please give me a call. I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk to you to find out where you place in this market. Hey, you first-time home buyers, remember, right now is the perfect time. It's a buyer's market to get you into your first dream home. Hey, you investors, this is an amazing time to invest. If you ever thought about it, give me a call. We can talk about it. We can talk about specific properties that are on your radar and mine. Give me a call. I'd be more than happy to welcome you into the Van Allen Real Estate team. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Welcome back. And as we said, we're going to get serious about our wide receivers. So you know what? Give us a few minutes and let G-Man make it over to the couch, because I'm going to ask one of the best receivers I've ever seen what's going on. Now, G-Man, I like to play because I need to put my glasses on right now because it's time This revolution won't be played on television. We're going to have to do a little better. But speaking of that, our number one receiver was out. We did have some people to step up. But give me your overall thought on the receivers in the course of this game. And what do you think they could have done better or more?
Well, as a receiving core, you always want to be able to continue to make big plays and big plays and big plays. My grade for the receivers is not bad, though. I mean, I give the receivers a B. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, he threw 3 touchdown passes. I mean, that's 21 points that came from people that catch the football. The receiver that won the first touchdown, the receiver made
Wait a minute,
spectacular.
I understand.
Spectacular.
But I know some defensive tackles that can catch the ball now.
Well, there are some, like, Tony McGee, yes, there's some that can do that, but there's not a lot that can do that. So, but when you score 24 points, that's enough to win a football game. It just truly is, because 17 points or less, you already know, Tony. And the defense, going into the game, they were averaging giving up 20.7 a game, something like that a game. And they gave up even more this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, the offense had too many turnovers, but that's not necessarily the receiver's fault that they had those turnovers. Though one was running back, one was from the quarterback.
2.
I don't think any came from the receiving side of the ball, because receivers, we tend to the reason why we win football games.
Quarterback had 2 and the running back had 1. And you're right on that.
Yeah, I mean, they just, and don't get me wrong, I like our running back a lot, by the way. I think he's doing a great job. Unfortunately, and we've all been in that spot where we've been part of the reason why our team lost the football game. I had fumbles in the past that, I would love to take back. And, fortunately, a lot of those games we still won, but some games we lost. It could be because I had a fumble as well. So just got to learn how to take care of the ball better. Can't have those types of turnovers. But most importantly, the reason we lost that football game is we turned the ball over and we had to just run out the clock, just take the ball downfield, just drive the ball downfield, can maintain the clock. We had to turn over. And then the defense came in and they didn't stop. Sometimes we need to help each other. Sometimes if the defense is playing bad, we got to score more points. Sometimes if the offense is playing bad, the defense has to stop the other team from scoring. It just comes that part. And right now, we had a perfect opportunity to take over the NFC East. Perfect opportunity to control our own destiny for the rest of the season. And that's what I'm sad about, is they did not do that. And as a receiver, you want to try to find a way to make plays so you can kind of take it so you don't have to worry about a comeback because it's out of range. And that was always a close game, so it was never out of range.
I tell you what, that's a very good analysis. And I like what you're saying, G. And, it doesn't just go for certain points of the team. You're talking about a team that have aspirations of being a Super Bowl contender. You don't let things get away. When you have an opportunity to take a lead in your division, you take that opportunity and make the best of it. Now you got hard games coming up, and I'm going to jump to you real quick, Solomon. The defense. I did not like what they did. I looked at the line of scrimmage. They were not controlling the line of scrimmage. They don't even know what number the quarterback had on. I just don't like that. If you're going to be a good defensive lineman, and whenever you look at this, you got Sweat on the other side, who your team has traded away, and he's making plays. When I play teams like that, when I played back in the day, that's when we folded up our helmets. I would always want to beat the team that I played against. And the one thing about it, he played well. If we'd have had him on our side of the ball last night, we would have won.
Well, Pops, first of all, I'm actually too close to be doing this. I need to be where the defensive line was getting pushed back to yesterday. So now I can do the show back here. And this is how far the defensive line was getting blown off the line. This was the space. Also, hold on. I'll come closer and show where the Bears were playing. This is how close they was on our side. It's ridiculous. I mean, 1 week the defense gives you so much, and the next week there's a disappearing act. I'm sick of Kinlaw being angry and mean in the locker rooms. I need him angry and mean on the field. Deron Payne, he did okay. Fig Newton, he stuffed a couple things, but no pass rush and the tackling. I mean, and then I'm going to go on and take it to this point. I feel like it's the coach's fault too. I mean, one thing I know is if I'm messing up on layups one week, my coach is gonna make me do 1,000 of those. By the next time, is no question. I don't know if Joe Witt is taking our tackling serious. Like, we miss too many tackles a game, Pop, and then you don't really see like if it was practiced on in practice because they come back doing the same thing. But far as the defensive line, Pop, you see how far back I was. That's every play. And then you see how close I was. That's where Montez Sweat was, basically in the backfield for
see, that's what you have, and that's the kind of play you have to have. And Donnie, and you always are on the defense, and you're exactly right now. But I want to ask you, do we have any improvement in the areas of the defense? And I don't want to name any of them, but we know we got to have better pass rush. We got to have better coverage. Did we have better that in the game?
Well, Tony, not good enough because they didn't produce enough. But one thing, Tony, I think that was the letdown in that game was the running game. DeAndre Swift came into the game averaging 3.3 yards per carry. That game, Commanders 7.7, 108 yards. To me, that was the letdown in that game also, of them allowing him to run the ball when this team had not done a good job of running the ball in the past. They made him look like a all-pro running back, the way they produce. But Tony, it's just like the same old, like Solomon said, it's the same old mistakes over and over, game and game. They talked about tighten up the tackling. They talked about the pressure. All I saw was Chicago on the other side put a lot of pressure on Jayden Daniels and that offense because they were bringing blitz after blitz after blitz. And to me, the defense for the Commanders, they are not aggressive enough for me. They don't attack enough. And it's the little things right here with the communication breaks down over and over again, Tony, the explosive plays. They start off the game 13-0. The defense did do a good job of keeping them out of the end zone, but still you let them drive down the field in field goal range. But to me, they're not playing aggressive enough defense that people are afraid of what they're going to bring because of these breakdowns as far as these explosive and big plays that they're giving up.
Well, you have to look at that, Donna, and the main reason, you have a group of guys that about 7 of them weren't playing together at this time last year, weren't even maybe on the team. They're trying to make
you sounded like some excuses. Don't give me
wait. So we got to give them a little bit of time. But as you were saying, they get paid every Monday, so they got to play.
Thank you.
Yeah. But at the same time, Mike, if you take a look at this whole thing, where do you think this team is right now, Mike? If you take a look at the Giants won, and that wasn't no accident. And we have looked at Dallas, who they can't hold anybody, but they can score when they want to. Is this a very dangerous time for our team, Michael?
Tony, that is a phenomenal question because that has been uppermost on my mind. When you think about the teams they now have to face, one that might have been a road to a victory would have been down the road, would have been the Seahawks. But look how they're playing. Dallas can put up serious points. You've got to go into KC now with Rashid Rice back and all their receivers. This team could conceivably be 3-7 without even blinking hard. But I will tell you one thing. It all comes down to, I think Gary said, it all comes down to turnovers. You can't commit 3 turnovers in a game. You've got to be able to hold on to the ball. But I'll tell you one thing about Dallas coming up, Tony, and that is they knew they had edge problems. They brought in Clowney, and all he had to do, they told him, was set the edge. And he's done a pretty good job of that. I don't think the Commanders can set the edge. These pitch outs are killing them, Tony.
You're right.
You don't know, Mike, and you're 100% right. We're going to take a quick break here, but it's not that they can't set the edge. They don't set the edge, and there's a difference in that. When you're a pass rusher, you're in. The last thing they tell you when you're upfield and they're trying to get outside, never let them get to your outside shoulder. That's just a rule that goes through football. These guys let them get to the outside and let the quarterback set up all the time. That is what they're going to have to work on. Not so much their play as much as their technique and their thought process. When we come back, special teams, they didn't really turn nothing out, but at the same time, they did just as well as any other group. So we'll talk about them a little bit when we get back, and we still going around the league. Now, man, this thing is heating up with this challenge. And the other thing about it is, Donna Hopkins, I don't know if she's still leading in the picks, but she hasn't said anything this week.
I am.
Oh, well, that means she had her pencil out. We'll talk about that, and we'll be back in a sec.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50 some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Looking for top-notch sports officials who know the game inside and out? The Greater Potomac Officials Association, GPOA, proudly serves the military community throughout our region, with nearly 90% of our officials being military retirees, active duty service members, or guardsmen. We bring unmatched discipline, professionalism, and integrity to every contest. From youth leads to adult alumni, our officials cover it all. Want to learn more about GPOA or bring our officials to your program? Contact owner and CEO Earl Teller III at 202-498-2032 or email him at gr8rpotomac@comcast.net.
Well, we talk a lot about different things. We talk about the challenge. We talk about the defensive line. We talk about the offense. We talk about Donna Hopkins can't make a free throw. But now we talk a little bit about special teams. We always got to give them a little bit. And, one thing you can't see, Donna, with this special team, we can see consistent. They have at least one or two good plays every week.
Yeah, Tony, that missed field goal hurt the Commanders also. But, on the other side, Chicago had a block field goal. But still, Tony, this Commanders team is not to the point where they can afford to leave any points off the scoreboard. And that field goal was key. He missed it from 50 yards and came back and hit a 53-yard. But they need those explosive breakout return yards that we did not see from week to week. So I like the return game, but it's got to be consistent. But Tony, what is consistent is our sports challenge, because it is heating up and they are close neck to neck. So let me bring it up. And this week, look at the standings. They are so close. Crystal City Pub, 5-5. You got the Glory Days, 6-4. GPOA, they took a hit last week, but they're still in the lead. They're tied for the lead, 6-4. Crystal City Restaurant, 6-4. And Van Allen Real Estate, 5-5. It's because of these games from week to week, Tony. You just cannot pick them. Let's look at them, Tony. They're going with the Lions. The Lions, to me, is coming on, but they're wishy-washy. But the Chiefs, I told you, Tony, and Gary did too.
I wondered when I was going to hear that.
The Chiefs are the team that, as Gary said, you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. And
yes,
when you look at the way Patrick Mahomes played the other week, you got to give him credit. So, Gary, I'm going to go to you first with the first game on Sunday night, the Chiefs against the Lions. How, looking at that game and everything, how do you see this? Because the Lions, to me, are starting to make some noise, but the Chiefs are the Lions that's roaring right now.
I just never bet against Mahomes. And I like the Lions. I think the Lions has a really good football team. I think they're always going to be in the hunt to be in a championship game. But I just don't ever bet against Mahomes. Sometimes I lose, but the majority of the time I win when I go with Kansas City. So I'm going with the Chiefs.
Hey, Tony, the Falcons seems to be the team that nobody is really talking about, and all they did was beat Buffalo. Is Buffalo sliding a little bit?
Yeah, I think
they are. Well, talk about the Falcons first.
Okay, you talk about the Falcons. They got a lot of talent in. They had to rebuild their defensive line, which they did pretty well. They also got some good edge rushers, and the defensive backfield has always been kind of set, but their number one cover man has been hurt in Terrell, but he's back. And they have a good offense. They got a young quarterback just as we do, but at the same time, they put him in a situation. The one thing they do have is that franchise running back, that they may have the best running back in the game. So they set everything up with the running. So I look at this Atlanta team. They may not be consistent, but they can be good. Very dangerous team, a team that everybody better look out for.
Hey, Solomon, what about the Buffalo Bills? I think they've lost their last 2 games. How do you see this team? What's happening with them lately? Because they were supposed to be the team that dominate.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, other than our turnovers and our non-tackling, I think this is what's going on with a lot of people. The Buffalo Bills, just like I feel like what's going on with JD5 a little bit, they're getting figured out. People are figuring Josh Allen out. They know what to do now, and I'm going to be honest. When I used to play basketball, if I figured out your move a couple times, I'm smacking that mess. I'm putting that against the glass. So I think that's what's actually going on with the Bills, is they're getting figured out. And their defense, I feel like they got a couple key injuries that that's really hurting them right now as far as on their defense. But as far as the overall, I feel like they're getting figured out. Kind of like I think this was going on with JD5 now, because he's not even scrambling the same, because I think defenses are figuring out these scrambling quarterbacks like JD5 and Josh.
Hey, Mike, the Detroit Lions seem to have turned the corner a little bit until they ran into the Kansas City Chiefs. How do you see the Lions? Are they a team to watch out for in the coming games?
I think Tony said it best at the beginning of this segment. We don't have any idea from week to week who's going to play well. I mean, you would have thought the Lions would have done some serious damage this past week. But the reality is we just learned that the Lions have suffered at least a half a dozen injuries along the defensive line and in the secondary again. Hutchinson, I think, is the only one that seems to be healthy, and they're moving him everywhere. I don't know what the Lions are going to do. You know, they're going to have to outscore everybody.
Well, one thing that we know that this sports football challenge is heating up. Crystal City Pub, a family-friendly restaurant, and it gives you, the sports fans, a little bit each week. So check them out. And the Glory Days, check them out. Multiple locations for good food, good sports atmosphere, place to go on game day. And GPOA, the association in the Washington metropolitan areas, they cover intramurals, they cover the military, they cover youth sports. For the best association, the Greater Potomac Association, they are your officiating group to go to. And then Crystal City Restaurant, so much to unpack there, Tony, because they're open. They've been open since 1963, quality of service. And then Van Allen Real Estate needs, you got to go for them. Commercial, if you're looking to sell your home, if you're looking to purchase a home, they are the people to go to. And Tony, for anybody that still wants to get into the sports challenge, we said, bring it on.
Oh yeah, if you got game, bring it. Don't come up in here with no weak stuff. We ain't talking about that. Because see what you say, well, how can I win? We can go on percentages. If you come in 10 games and you win all 10, that's 100%. You got a chance of winning everything. So you know what? Come on. And then it's really just to have fun. You can get an opportunity to see how wrong Donna Hopkins can be at times.
Never.
Yeah, get an opportunity to see how cool G is. And then you look at my son, that analogy, homeboy, that reminds me of me. But you know what? We got to find out, can this team remind us of the teams that we used to cover? And that's what we're looking for right now. And I tell you what, Donna, when we making our picks, even around the league right now, you can't put your hand on anything. You can't put your hand on no team. Look at this. We all thought a couple of weeks ago Philadelphia was just unbeatable. Now they are one that everybody's looking to play. And then that's the same thing with our picks. If you take a look at them, Donna, tell me what's happening there, because I believe you still penciling me. But go ahead.
Hey, Tony, why I got to be penciling you all? Just say that the fact that you're not in the lead right now, but just like the sports challenge, it's close, Tony. It's still early. We haven't even got into the middle of the season, but right now, last week, Gary, myself, and you, Tony, went 4-1. Mike was the one that went 5-0, and Solomon 3-2. But as you can see, Tony, you're 17-8, me 19-6, Gary 16-9, Mike 17-8, and Solomon 17-8. But let's talk about some games that's coming up, Tony.
Well, we're gonna have to take a break now, because I want to do a little investigation about how did Mike.
I don't know why.
I got to find out. Me and Mike been doing this thing for 41 years, and he Mike went 5-0.
I'm telling the truth.
Okay, we're gonna take a break and get to the bottom of this. We'll be back in a minute. Mike, you better have a good explanation there. You and Donna in this together. We'll be back in a minute.
Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Speakers Bureau offers you various opportunities to connect with former and current players along with Tony and the crew. For more information, go to redmagplus.com Speakers Bureau.
The one-of-a-kind joy of Kellogg's cereal and ice-cold milk.
Well, we were talking about it, and we talk a lot about football and everything, but if you notice on this show, we also talk about your health. So once again, we bring Ricky Irvin in. Get in tune with this, because we can go through the course of the year, and he'll give you some great ideas of the way you can get yourself in trouble. Donna, Ricky Irvin has been a good friend to us, and what does he have this week?
Well, Tony, all I know is that Ricky put me back into the gym, and I couldn't raise my arms for now. It's been 3 days, but let's go to our fitness tip of the week. Well, back at it again with Ricky.
Pro Fitness for Everyone.
Yeah, so Ricky is going to whip me into shape this fall. Last year I kind of escaped because he had other people. But this year I walked through the door. Ricky. Hey, Ricky, you know what? This is the whiteboard. What does that mean?
That means that what I put on here is what we're going to do. This is today's lesson or the week lesson.
And this is the front room. I'm about to get started. Ricky's going to whip me into shape today. So let's get rolling.
There we go.
Ricky gave me this heavy one.
Oh, this bar is not heavy. This bar is so light, you can pick it up with your 2 fingers.
I want him to pick it up.
Just wait till she starts the second set. That's all I want you to see. Again, let it be smooth.
I'm smiling now, as you can see, but this is just the first one.
All right, so now you rest. So now we're going to do this again, but I'm going to be with just pulling it down again.
Like I need that.
Go up. Oh yeah, now resist. Resist, there you go. Up. There you go. Up. There you go. Up. There you go. Up.
Y'all see the muscles? I already feel it.
The Monday night game? That's when you're going to feel it, for real.
Monday night, I ain't going to be able to raise my hands. And you will have Ricky to thank.
Hey, 2, 1. So you're doing a good job, though. That's not bad. Do one more set.
Now, here comes the torture.
Right here. Again, let it be smooth.
This is something the Ricky that then it made up.
No, I've been doing this. I actually got this from a long time ago with Debo. I mean, when we had him at the Redskins. There you go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. I like that fight. I like that fight. Come on now. Here we go. Yeah. Bam. You laughing too, Dave?
Hey, Tony, as you can see, that hurts, and Ricky is back to kill me this season.
Well, I tell you what, that was a good workout there. I'm glad you were doing it.
Don't laugh, Tony.
It's funny. I couldn't even. He hold that towel down. I probably couldn't even pull it up right now. But I tell you what, that's a good deal, and we want you guys to take a look at that. And we want you guys to take a look because we feel like fitness is very important. If you know, we've been doing this show for a long time, and we've seen changes in ourselves and people and everything. But one thing we like to do is really try to have a good show for you guys and do something different. And so, we have this workout because we want you to follow. And if you ever want questions or you want to ask Ricky something, go to our website and we'll get the information to him. And when he has time, he'll get a chance to do it. So, let me see. We got any more time, Mike? Can we take another break and
actually, you do. Tony, you got about 2 minutes left because I know you guys have been beating me up about Matt Gay.
Oh, hey, Mike. You only worry about it if it ain't true. So that means
I'm not his agent, but he is deadly inside the 50. But however, outside the 50, he's 4 for 7. But you know what, Tony? That missed field goal was not the difference in the game.
And let's just be honest. Let's just all be honest right now. We just could say who special teams is right now. Luke from Return of the Jedi. I am your father. Luke is the only bright spot. We don't know what we're getting with our kicker at time. I don't even know what our punter. Luke, I am your father, Skywalker. He's been the brightest light. Come on.
And also Debo Samuels, when he was returning kickoffs, punts and kickoffs, but he's got that heel injury, so we didn't even see him in the last game because they know that they've got to protect him because right now he's their main receiver with Terry, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, possibly to be back because I saw him going through some of his routines out there, but if they can get him back, that'll be a big lift. But Tony, when you look at the quad injury that Terry has, and he didn't need surgery, and I know that you did physical therapy before, how long really does a quad muscle, and Gary can have the hamstring, but how long will he really be out with that quad injury?
Okay, let me do this before I do that. Mike, do we have time, or do I need to take a break or anything? I want to explain this.
No, you go ahead, boss. You tell me what is going on with Terry McLaurin.
Okay, well, when you take a look at that, that's a big muscle group there, and you look at that thigh. I've had that before. It happened in a game. One of my first games, and that's what I didn't tell you guys. The two teams we played, Chicago, the one brought me in, and Washington's the one sent me home. So, I know a little bit, but I got one of those bruises, and it was so hard for it to get well because it's right there on your thigh. And when you try to run and you try to lift, all of that blood is in there. You got to get that blood out first. Then you got to re-strengthen it and rebuild it into what you want it to be, because that is an injury is to the flesh, but it's so much, it's just as bad as having a broken bone almost. So those injuries are very serious. A lot of people say, oh, he just got his thigh messed up. No, those are, that is one time in my whole career, they put me in an ambulance and took me to the hospital because those things are dangerous as well. So he has to take care of that. Now, with that being said, I don't know if we've run out of time, but at the same time,
another segment, buddy, because
we can't talk that bad about him. So, we're going to take a break and we'll break down some more stuff and see what we see in the future. I see this team, if they win the next 3 games, they'll be doing the right thing. We'll be back in a moment.
The one-of-a-kind joy of Kellogg's cereal and ice-cold milk.
In NFL news this week, For years, the NFL was filled with iconic quarterbacks, all of which were bound for Canton. So who's hanging fire out there for the Hall of Fame? If they quit tomorrow, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford are locks. Maybe Russell Wilson. These days, the league is full of retreads, some of them quite successful. Could a pack of them find their way to Canton? Right now, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and Jared Goff are taking the Canton retread route. As Robert Frost so aptly said, it is the road less taken, but it has made all the difference. And for these 4 quarterbacks, it has. Did Giants head coach Brian Daboll just punch his ticket to unemployment? You never, ever argue with team doctors concerning a player injury. What's more, Daboll entered the medical tent to supposedly argue on Dart's behalf. Is a sizable NFL fine or game suspension forthcoming? Daboll better keep winning. Will wonders never cease? Quarterback Shedeur Sanders backed up fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel Sunday. The Browns, who are winless on Steelers turf since 2003, tried doing it with 2 rookies. Did I catch these 2 guys stargazing Sunday as Aaron Rodgers worked his magic? Can it be done? No wide receiver ever caught 150 passes and amassed 2,000 yards receiving. Puka Nacua of the Rams is on track to reach that mark. If it were anyone else other than Matthew Stafford throwing in the ball, I would say ain't no way. A soccer game broke out at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London Sunday. It was a soccer kicks game. Well, there was one passing touchdown. If Kurt Warner said Justin Fields was holding the ball too long one more time, I was going to scream. But it is true, he holds the ball too long. Have Tua's comments pretty much sealed head coach Mike McDaniel's fate? According to Tua, players have a sliding scale when it comes to meetings. There seems to be no discipline, and things are going farther south. Kind of hard to do from Miami. Is it even conceivable that Bill Belichick leaves North Carolina and is walking the Dolphins' sidelines in a week or 2? Bet the players show up for meetings for him. Is quarterback Drake May making MVP headlines? The Pats are 4-2 and seemingly cooking. May threw for 3 touchdowns Sunday, and the fact that May seems ambivalent to opponents' pass rush and makes throws all over the field speaks volumes. Buffalo has a real division rival again. Finally, there are only 2 teams who are missing all their starting wideouts and yet still managing to win. They are Tampa's Baker Mayfield and Washington's Jaden Daniels. I was looking for a common trait. Could it be chunky soup? And that's NFL News this week.
Well, we're going to wrap this bad boy up by talking about around the league. And one thing we have noticed, we may be speaking ill of the Washington team, but we're not. We're showing the deficit that they have. It's all around the league right now. What you have to realize right now is getting ready to turn over. The young ones going to take it over. It may not be the old ones in the Super Bowl like it used to be. And Donna, when you look around the league, you have no idea who is going to be in the Super Bowl this year.
Tony, you're exactly right. I'm going to bring our picks back up because we're looking at some games this week. And I'm going to come right to you, Tony. The Steelers is the ones that's winning games right now. They're going up against the Bengals. Could you talk a little bit about what you're seeing from the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers behind the center? Are they for real or are they pretenders in this early part of the season?
I think it's a very good opportunity for both of them. Aaron doesn't have all he used to have, but he got enough to give them what they need. And at the same time, they've been winning the last 3 or 4 years with defense only. Now they got a complete team. They play hard. They are dangerous. The Bengals, they might as well write this one on the end and don't get beat up and just write it in and tell them they lose because they're going to lose.
And Solomon, you've been high on the Jags all season long. The Rams are playing at the Jags. Could you talk a little bit about the Jags right now? They lost the other week, but are they a team that we need to pay close attention to? And also, could you talk a little bit about the Rams?
Well, I've been high on the Jags, but we low this week because they lost this week. So I'm actually I feel good about the Rams. I think going forward, the Rams are going to actually get it together as far as with their defense and their pass game. But I feel like the Jags are an upcoming team, but nobody said this year. I feel like they're up and coming, but nah, they showed their true colors. So I feel good about the Rams this week.
Hey, Gary, we talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. They're at the Vikings, and the Philadelphia Eagles are up there fighting with each other. Nobody else has to fight with them because they're fighting with each other. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. They had a meeting, and the Eagles have lost 2 straight games. How do you see the Eagles right now and what's going on there with their star receivers and other players?
Well, I think there's some opinions. Like, you're always going to have opinions with your teammates, but it should stay inside with your teammates and your team. The public, the general public, should never know about this. Ever. They should never know that something's beefing, because then it gets blown all up and everybody really starts talking about it.
Exactly.
But quite honestly, I believe Minnesota's going to win the football game, because I think right now the Eagles are just trying to refine themselves again. They're not playing like the Eagles played last year. They're just not.
Well, why didn't you pick the Vikings versus the Eagles?
I did pick the Vikings.
You did pick them.
You're the only one out of all of them.
He did pick those, but Mike, the Vikings. Before I hop to the other game, the Vikings. Talk to me about the Vikings and what you're seeing from this team right now with O'Connell.
Well, I'm an Eagles guy, and just quickly before I answer that, if you remember, this team just always seems to have these player meetings where they're not getting along. I feel sorry for Jalen Hurts. He's done nothing but win a Super Bowl with this team. But anyway, getting back to the Vikings, I don't know if J.J. McCarthy's going to play, but I just don't. Wentz had one good game. I don't see Wentz winning this game if McCarthy can't go. And McCarthy, I think he's still in a learning phase. There just ain't no way the Eagles are going to lose this game. I'm sorry.
Oh, Mike, don't be guaranteeing on us, Mike.
Way.
Hold up, Pop. He went 5-0, so we got to give respect this week.
We got to listen to him.
Yeah, we got to give him the props this week. But, Tony, the Colts at the Chargers. The Colts, to me, is another team, to me, that you have to pay attention to. You picked the Chargers, but I wanted you to talk a little bit about the Colts and what you're seeing from that team.
The Colts is a young, good team coming up. The quarterback is still learning. They got a decent defense. Offense is okay, but they got to put it all together because they haven't had solidarity at their quarterback situation, but they do have that now. They are a team that they're not an every week worry team, but it's one that you have to worry about every other week. So if this is every other week, they better be worried about them. So there's one team, they'll do good one week, and then the next week you say, wow, is that the Colts? Tell me one thing that you have to understand. They will be better in the future, and they're doing that now. Colts are really good.
And the last game,
they're not going to win this week.
Hey, you hoping they don't win. But the last game is the Packers at the Cardinals. And the Packers, to me, everybody was picking them in the beginning to say that this is the dominated team, and the Cardinals seem to be skidding. Their quarterback was out this past week, because that's going to be a tough game. But I think the Packers, as you look across, we all picked the Packers. But Mike, why do you think the Cardinals are going to win this one?
I think they have a bounce with the Cardinals. Well, I did not know the quarterback was going to be out last week. But they've got a very good team, and I think they'll be back. But Donna, before we go and we say goodbye, I don't know if you all know this, but I live just over the border of Loudoun County in West Virginia. You have, Tony, a huge contingent of fans for your show over the years. And I ran into one of them who came up to me, believe it or not, outside the Moose Lodge. And he told me, tell Tony, tell Donna, tell Gary that I love them all, and that I've watched for years and years and years, and I really enjoy your show. So Terry and Ranson, West Virginia, I had to give them a shout out. But we're pretty much out of time.
Shout out to West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, and that's good to hear that. And you fans, keep letting us know that, because we want to keep giving you the information and the love. With that being said, one thing we never say is goodbye, because next week we'll say in a minute.
The sports world mourns the loss of anchor and reporter Craig Heist. Craig, who some of us fondly called Heisty, spent more than 40 years covering sports in the D.C. area. Not surprisingly, he was named Maryland Sportscaster of the Year on 3 separate occasions. He appeared here on our show any number of times. We'll miss him greatly. Our prayers are with his wife and family at this very difficult time.